You are here. It is time for Dive Into the Longbox's one-shot. We are free. You're listening to this because you don't want to pay money, and that's okay. So we give you a little bit of a teaser of what you get for $2 for our full Dive Into the Longbox episode. Gabe is here. That is me. I'm joined with... Who are you? Who are you?
We want to give you just a taste. Just a little bit of the taste.
Hell yeah. I'm Ajax. If you guys heard it on the Dive Into the Longbox, which is on our $2 tier and up on Patreon, we're going to be looking quickly, just discussing Plasm number 0, which is a comic book that was entirely made by collecting trading cards. And that was the only way you could read the book at the time. If you do want to get the book, though, like the comic book version of it, which I do own, it is quite pricey to get. I got very lucky of watching it on eBay, so I was able to find it for like in a group lot for very cheap, but it's tattered to all shit. If you want to buy that issue like brand new, they did sell it limited, and it is very hard to get. Very, very hard to get. But Ajax, the one topic before that we're going to be looking at here, do you have any idea who you think some of the best anti-heroes in comics are?
Oh man, this is a really good list to mention because I love anti-heroes.
Yes.
They're some of my favorites for sure. And we could go on and on and on about them because in comics there's so many good ones. I feel there's so many good ones, but I feel like you can't make a list of anti-heroes and not mention Wolverine.
Yes.
Because I think he's the one that made it cool to be an anti-hero.
Definitely. I would, and it's weird, like, if you look up, like, list of anti-heroes on, like, Google, I pulled it up just to get, like, an idea of, like, what Google thinks is an anti-hero. Yeah. There are some interesting characters on there that I would not consider anti-heroes. For
Same.
one, Batman? What?
No,
What?
Like in appearance, you could
appearance-wise,
consider him an
yeah.
anti-hero, but like the way that he carries himself, like he's very heroic.
Yeah, very heroic. Daredevil, they consider an anti-hero. I don't
Not at all.
consider him an anti-hero at all.
You know what it is? I think they're mixing up vigilante and anti-hero.
Yeah,
It's not the same thing.
And that's what I thought until I saw this last one here, the Hulk. Is it because he breaks shit without giving a shit, or that doesn't make you an anti-hero? He's an Avenger.
No,
You can't be an anti-hero and be a fucking Avenger.
Yeah.
And like even then, like Wolverine's an exception because like Wolverine don't give a fuck about no one. He just goes where he goes wherever he's needed, you know. But he don't give a fuck. He'll kill someone if he wants to.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Like, he can be a bad guy, he can be a good guy. Like, he's gonna kill you. So.
But yeah, and I think Wolverine's a great example of that. I really think he's kind of like he should be like what people should follow if you're making an anti-hero.
He's a poster boy.
Yeah, like something. He's cool. He helps when needed, but he can handle some business on his own. He can get kind of bloody on his own, which I think is pretty great. I think
he's.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think he's the poster boy, and I think right after him, it's got to be the comedian in Rorschach from Watchmen.
Yes, that was actually going to be the one I was just about to say, comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I think they kind of set that bar as well, especially comedian. He is such like a bad dude, but he's also like a hero. Like, he is just not he was a good image for a hero in that world. I'm not talking literal. I'm talking about like as a person in that universe. Yes. It's like a Homelander type situation where like they're a hero, but they're a bad person.
Yeah, I mean, comedian straight up like sexually assaults a girl like in Watchmen.
Yeah, and shot the woman he knocked up.
Yeah,
like he got a woman pregnant and killed her after she was trying to like fight him to stay, and then just left. Like what the fuck?
Like he's not a good guy at all, but at the same time he does some heroic things, you know, very, you know, shades of gray, you know, not black and white.
Yeah. And I think that does bring us to like that next one, like Homelander is obviously like, I think now he's the new like anti-hero that like everyone is molding their new anti-heroes after. I feel like after The Boys picked up, there's a lot more anti-Supermans being made than ever before.
Yeah, which I don't mind, honestly, because I
Me
think
neither.
The Boys was a great comic book, and it's also a great TV show.
Yeah, and I think, and I'll never hate an anti-Superman. I just say that there's a lot now after that show. There's a lot of
Yes.
that type of architect that is coming out. Granted, it makes sense if you have that much power. Why wouldn't you be a dickhead? You know, who's gonna stop you?
Right, of course,
Like,
right.
I think another one that people don't talk about. I feel like a lot of people don't even know the series, besides like you and I. The Pro, which was
Oh,
about a how would you describe her profession? In a
she's a hooker.
oh, I didn't know if there was like a
she's-
nicer way to say that.
Well, I mean, she's a sex worker.
Yes, but she's also like mean. She's like a mean sex worker who gets superpowers. And
She doesn't. The best part about it is she gets superpowers, but she's not like, well, I'm gonna save people with my superpowers. It's no, I'm gonna use my superpowers and fucking make guys come quicker.
you see that Superman over there? I'm gonna make him jizz so hard it goes through a building.
That's the
Oh, it was a
best
plane.
panel.
It was a plane, and the plane started
It
collapsing.
It takes off the wing of the plane and then it collapses. That's
then he has
the
to
best panel in the whole fucking
And he has
book.
to save them, and as he's flying away, he's pulling his pants up. And she just doesn't give a shit. She's just like, goes back to her day. Like, she doesn't care.
Just like, well, I made my money. Who cares?
Yeah. I think she's probably the best anti-hero. And then, like, man, I want her to get like a short movie on HBO Max. Like, can
would
someone get
love
the
that.
rights to that? That'd be so great.
I would love that. I think like a 30-minute movie of the Pro would pop a lot of people. I think.
It would be really great. I think people would really like it. And I think in today's climate, it is like a what people would call a sex positive movie. Like,
It is.
she's
honestly,
not
yeah.
shown in a bad light. She's down
No.
on her luck. The only way she can make money is by doing this. But then she gets powers, and she's like, oh fuck. And then everyone's like, be a part of our super team, and she's like, no, I hate superheroes. You guys are all assholes.
Well, yeah, of course she hates superheroes because it's Garth Ennis who's fucking writing it. Who hates superheroes more than Garth Ennis?
Literally. Oh my god. What I say, I think another one too. I think anti-hero women are cool.
Yes,
And I think probably the
for sure.
coolest anti-hero who was introduced as an anti-hero, but I feel like kind of came out of that mold, sort of, is Elektra.
I was about to say, yeah, she is probably the best example on the women's side for sure.
Yeah, that like femme fatale, like cool anti-hero that was just like, she'll have you break your neck when she walks by, but then she'll cut your head off after. You know what I mean?
And kind of a precursor to like the bad girl art.
Yeah, she kind of is like the god. Usually they call it the Godfather. She's the godmother of all that.
She's definitely a prototype
Yeah.
of what came after like Lady Det for like Chaos Comics.
Listen, the character I made is heavily inspired by Elektra. Just instead of two fucking little dagger things, she got two swords.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
we
think
definitely
she's
have to
probably the-
mention. We definitely have to mention the Punisher.
Yes.
There's no way we can't mention the Punisher.
Yes.
The
Who I
Punisher is
feel
one of
like-
my all-time favorites.
I feel like recently Marvel, or not Marvel, I guess kind of Marvel, when he had his show, he was kind of
Yep.
taken out of that anti-hero role a bit in the show. He was kind of just like a straight up, just a vigilante hero, but he wasn't like doing anything real bad. I mean, he was blowing people's heads off. So I guess
Sure.
that could be considered anti-hero because heroes don't do that. But I feel like in the show he was doing a lot more good than bad.
Mhm.
But in general, Punisher is an anti-hero. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying. I
for-
think in the show they started to like get away from that, which I didn't like. I like that he's an anti-hero, and I wish they did more with it.
Because the Punisher, again, is another guy. It doesn't matter if you're a good guy or if you're a bad guy. If you're in his way, he's going to put a bullet in you. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and I think that's what I liked about the Thomas Jane movie was that he had those roommates or those people in his apartment that were trying to talk to him, but he didn't want to fuck with them. He has no reason to. You know, he was like a recluse in his little apartment. He would only go out to kill motherfuckers and then come back and drink some whiskey. You know.
Next year will be the 20th anniversary of the Thomas Jane movie.
Holy shit! I just rewatched that movie like a month ago.
So we'll have to dive into it. I think next year for the 20th anniversary.
Yo, shout out Slow Chemical, iconic movie song and wrestling theme song.
Absolutely.
Okay, I never understood this. Was that song made for the movie or for Kane? Because the intro is like Kane's intro, but it's like a regular song.
I think it was made for Kane.
Okay, and then like they got the rights to it for Punisher? Because that's on the album. That's it. That's like the end credit song.
Yeah, but Slow Chemical never came out on the Finger 11 album. It only came out on WWE albums and the Punisher album.
Wow. Usually it's like flip. Usually like they hear a movie from a song or a song from a movie and they use it as a theme song. I wonder if this is like the only time where it was flipped. It's a good regular song. Like
it is, yeah.
I bumped that song just for fun, but damn. Okay. I never knew that. I didn't know if you knew, so I was just like, fuck. That always confused me. I'm trying to think another answer. Oh, another one people I think is finally he was reminded to people. Namor.
Namor's a good one. Yeah.
Because like Namor was an asshole when he showed up.
Yes.
Also, he was a woman stealer.
Yes,
that son of a bitch took Sue Storm.
Look at how jacked he is.
That man cucked Mr. Fantastic. He said, "You see the little wings on my feet? You know you want this girl." And then she started showing more skin. Remember that when she changed her costume after meeting Namor?
Yeah.
She started showing some belly and some legs. And Reed Richards was like, "You whore." I was reminded of that yesterday. Someone posted that panel on Twitter, and he's like, "What did you do to yourself? You're showing too much skin."
I'm not a big G.I. Joe guy, but I really like Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes is a really good one. I'd say even Storm Shadow as well counts.
Yeah,
because like they'll team up. They'll team up, but Storm Shadow's still Cobra, but he'll help when needed.
I think those are two really cool character designs.
Something I think you would
always
appreciate
like them
as well. I'm actually happy you brought up G.I. Joe. Actually, I never thought I would ever get to show these. I have these. I think I showed you. I have He-Man ones. They're micro comics, and it's a G.I. Joe micro comic.
Oh, that's really cool.
Very, very small, and when you open it, it's an actual book.
Wow.
Like it comes with like a magnifying glass that you use to read with. You could.
I think that's the only way you can read it.
Yeah, I mean, and it works. Yeah, pretty cool though. Oh, look at Hydra's doing the Hitler pose. Wow. Oh, so not Hydra, Cobra. Damn, that's crazy. But yeah, I think that's a good one. That's a good one. And they count as comics. They were a popular comic book. I never read G.I. Joe books. I feel like I don't know.
The IDW run, apparently, I haven't read it, but a lot of people say it's good.
Did Dark Horse ever make G.I. Joe? What do I feel like they did?
Marvel did. I don't know if Dark Horse did, but Marvel did.
Let me see. Dark Horse did make G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, but is this like G.I. Joe, or just like the same name?
Right.
It's hard to tell, because they're just like, oh no, that's Duke. Yeah, holy shit, they did make G.I. Joe. Oh, this is so like 2000s though. Like it's so like they look ridiculous. Extreme times call for extreme heroes. G.I. Joe. Damn, bro. Yeah, they did make G.I. Joe though. Okay. Why did I remember that? I don't know why that's like the first thing I thought of when I thought of G.I. Joe. I don't even know if this is like, is that Duke or just some dude that looks like Duke? I don't know. I'd have to see the inside. There's like no Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes. It's not the G.I. Joe logo. Maybe it's just an army book. It's from 96. Yo, this man throwing daggers. Yeah, I don't know if this is if it's the G.I. Joe we think. I'll have to look into that. I need to do some research. This is a 90s book. So, who drew this? Barr? Wait. Like from The Crow? Did James O'Barr draw this? Oh, Mike Barr. Okay, never mind.
Oh, okay.
It just says Barr on the cover, so I'm like, wait, hold on.
Oh, Mike Barr. Yeah, Mike Barr has done some Batman stuff. I know.
Oh, he has? Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say this is G.I. Joe. So, because there is like a Cobra-looking villain, but it's not Cobra Commander, or at least I don't think it is. Anyways, sorry, I got a little off topic there. I just got real curious.
No, I'll bring it back on topic. I think the best unintentional anti-hero, and I say unintentional because he was originally made as a parody of all the 90s extreme characters. But Lobo.
Yes. That is a huge one.
Lobo
Literally,
is a great
physically.
character, even though that DC wanted to use him as like an outlet to shit on like extreme like comic characters.
Yeah. And it ended up just becoming becoming very, very popular for them.
Yeah, readers are like, well, we like this guy. And they're like, no, you're not supposed to like him.
We
What are
like
you
that he's
doing?"
over the top.
Yeah.
And Jason Momoa and James Gunn have agreed on a dream movie that Jason Momoa has been wanting to do. And he has clamored for a Lobo movie in the past.
Yeah, he really wants to play Lobo, which I'm fine with that because
I'm cool with it.
fits
He
the
looks
part.
he looks like Lobo. Fuck it, just roll it. And if
Yeah.
he really wants to do it, I think that's when movies are the best, when the person's like real passionate about the character and they really want to
Yes.
play it. I think that's why this is a controversial take, and I think you're gonna hate me for this. That's why
Oh.
I think the rumored Channing Tatum Gambit movie would have been decent with him if it was written well, because he was a Gambit fan. He was a Gambit
Big
reader.
Gambit guy.
Because he talked about growing up, where he grew up. He goes, you were either a Gambit or Wolverine fan. He goes, and Gambit was
Right.
my dude. He goes, that's what I read growing up into my teen years. He goes, until I stopped reading books, it was only Gambit. And he goes, when I got the option to do this, I said yes in a heartbeat. So I was like, all right, Gambit is a pretty boy. You know what I mean? He's a, woman stealer. So I'm like, that works with Channing Tatum. My big thing was, can he do the accent? That was the thing.
That's my thing as well because
That's
listen, a Louisiana accent is very specific.
It's very tough to do.
It is, and
Where's he from?
I don't hate Channing. I think Channing's a good actor.
No, and he
I got
can do funny things. Like Gambit had some comedy. He could have done it.
Yeah, my big thing also is if he's gonna play Gambit, he's got to grow out his hair and grow a beard.
Yeah,
gotta
he
do
is
that
from
as well.
he's from Coleman, Alabama. Channing Tatum. So he is from the South, and I think that's why he
You-
said you were either a Wolverine or a Gambit at the time, because
Right.
Gambit embodied the South, and Wolverine was very, even though he was Canadian, he was presented very Southern with the denim and the fucking cowboy hat and
Wolverine.
all that stuff. Yeah,
Well, Wolverine is because he's from Alberta.
yeah.
Alberta's kind of for Canada. It's on the
Like, it's
west
like-
coast of Canada.
Is that
The
like
west coast of Canada
it's like the
is,
south of-
yeah, kind of.
Okay, but I think that's why he was so people gravitated towards him in the South, because I think he
Yeah.
had like that no nonsense demeanor. He kind of dressed Southern, but yeah, I think that's very controversial. I think a lot of people disagree with that, but I think he would have done well as Gambit. And someone did like Photoshop him as Gambit, and I'm like, yeah, he looks like him. It was just the accent I was concerned about.
I don't think he could have done worse than the guy who ended up playing Gambit in the X-Men Origins, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not like that guy.
And that movie was another problem of script kept changing, and it changed to the point Channing Tatum didn't like it, and he left. And then it just got scrapped. They didn't even want to recast. So, yeah. And I think like when they did, I think he did come back, 'cause I'm looking through an interview here, and I guess they were planning on bringing it back with him, and he was down, but then Marvel bought their rights to their stuff. And it kind of just
Right.
got scrapped again.
Of course.
Yeah. He goes, he wasn't sure about how it was going to be, and quote, he didn't want to be in any more bad movies. So he wasn't sure about it at the end. But he was down at first. This is an interview from like a couple months ago. But yeah, that's a hill I'll stand on. So, I don't even know. There's pictures of him hanging out with like Ryan Reynolds and like stuff at Comic-Con. He's just rocking a Gambit shirt the whole time. This man was hyped for that movie, bro. He was. Oh yeah, I forgot he was growing his hair out and everything to have like the Gambit hair and shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like there's a picture of him, and like the way his hair was. I'm gonna send you it on here. People can't see because it's a podcast, but his hair at the time. If you throw that headpiece on him, the '90s headpiece, I'm like, yeah, it is Gambit. Let me see. Let me see if this sends to you. I'm looking at this here, and I'm just like, yeah, that's Gambit. Where the fuck? Is it going to show? There it goes. Yeah, there. I just sent that to you now. I think you have to download. I don't know why you have to download it to open it. I don't know. I don't know why it's not sending properly to you. Anyways. It's weird. I don't know why. But the hair and stuff I'm looking at like, yeah, that's our boy. Can you see it?
Yeah. Honestly, it's a pretty good resemblance.
Yeah, and look, he even had like the goatee like him and everything. I'm like, yeah, he could have did it.
He could have, yeah.
He could have. Looks wise, could have. It was just still that accent. We never heard it. Never heard if he could do it or not. So.
And with Gambit,
I guess he said he was going to an acting coach, though. Voice acting coach. He did confirm that. Oh, there was art from the movie that surfaced. Damn, they were that far. Oh shit, there is. There's art from the movie. One thing, it's like him sitting on a truck in New Orleans, and he has a bourbon bottle in his hand. And the bourbon bottle starts like shaking, and his eyes glow like with the Gambit eyes, and he throws it and it explodes. That's the only art that's out. Very intrigued by that.
That's a cool premise.
Very, very interesting. And I think Ajax, we end with the here with the ultimate anti-hero, Spawn.
I do love Spawn.
Who is
I actually wanted
classified?
to
He's on every top 10 list too.
He is. I actually wanted to highlight Vertigo, which was an imprint for DC, had a lot of good anti-heroes.
Oh yeah, dude.
But
I forgot about Vertigo. Holy shit.
But I think the best one is Jesse Custer from Preacher. I think he's probably the best one of the bunch.
That is a great one. And also, what was it? Oh my god, why am I drawing the blank on this comic book? It was a Vertigo book. The dude had like a green lens and a red. He had like, it was like a futuristic Transmetropolitan. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's a really good one as well.
Yeah, really good. Also, John Constantine, another great one.
Yeah, John Constantine is a great one.
Iconic. There's some cool. Oh god, I got hiccups now. There's some cool anti-heroes, man. And I think it's a list that you could talk about all day. You got people like Venom, Harley Quinn, all that shit.
I was gonna say, as a kid, Venom was always a villain, but he was always one of my favorites when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And then later on, they made him into an anti-hero.
I think what solidified that was Carnage showing up.
Yeah.
Because now he was like, yo, I don't fuck with Spider-Man or this new red motherfucker. I hate these dudes. I'm going to beat them both up.
And even in the PS1 video game, he starts out as a villain, but then he kind of becomes like an anti-hero.
Yeah. He has that little redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
You love to see it. You never really know when people write Venom what route they're going to go. If they're going to go anti-hero Venom or just full-on Psycho Venom. I think in the movies really... While the movies, a lot of people don't like them, I think it did capture that anti-hero where he was kind of conflicted when he wasn't, when Eddie Brock was just Eddie Brock.
Yeah, I didn't see the second Venom movie, but I thought the first one was all right.
Yeah,
I did okay for what it was.
I thought it was fun. It was a fun little movie. He was written like Venom. Like, the writing of Venom was fine.
It was.
His little quips is what you would expect. And there was like conflict with that in the beginning where he was like, I don't want to do this shit that Venom wants to do. And Venom's like, fuck you, we're going to do this.
Yeah, exactly right.
And then I got to the end of the movie where he's just like eating people and he's just like, all right, here's my change. I'm going to take my food and go. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, that's Venom. That's Venom. Like, that's cool. So, I think one that got spoiled, I was going to mention this one, but I think people are just so obsessed with this character. Or at least there was a lot of Twitter wars about this character. Black Adam. There was so much shit on Twitter about how Black Adam's classified because people were calling him a hero, and everyone's like, no, he's not.
No, he isn't.
but The
He's not a
Rock
hero.
was like wanting to make him into a hero, and it was like, what?
That was my problem with the movie. Is The Rock has a lack of understanding of what Black Adam is as a character. Black Adam should be theoretically one of the big bads in the DC
Yeah.
universe.
And what blew my mind was when people were talking about it, they're like, he's a hero, read this series. And the series they kept posting was the series 52, that weekly book DC had.
Mhm.
I'm like, bro, did any of you read this? In issue 2, he brings a villain out who the villain thought, we're on the same side because we're both bad guys. Dog, to make an example of him, Black Adam flies through him to explode him and kill him. To make an example.
Right.
Like, guys, what are you talking? This is not a hero. What are you talking about? These people did not read the series. Just because he was the main focus of the series doesn't make him the hero of it. Like, what the fuck?
I will say he's primarily a villain, but sometimes he's neutral. But he's
Yeah.
still primarily a villain.
And I think with anti-heroes, it's tough to describe it because, like, vigilantes aren't, like, anti-heroes, but I don't think, like, asshole superheroes are either. So, like,
Yeah.
people like Booster Gold, like, while he's, like, a douchebag, I don't consider him an anti-hero. He's just,
No,
like, an
not at
asshole. But he makes it's not like it's a secret that he's an asshole, like Comedian, who it was, like, behind the scenes he was doing all this shit.
Mhm.
Like, everyone knows Booster Gold's a cocky prick. So, like... But yeah, I think that it's tough nowadays. I feel like everyone wants to make, the anti-hero. So I think it's becoming more and more modern, to the point anti-heroes are more like the heroes now than anything else, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
The-
in a way, because like even in the MCU,
Yeah,
Winter Soldier. I mean, Winter Soldier is
Yeah.
a good example of an anti-hero too.
100%. Yeah, like I feel like anti-heroes are becoming the new archetype for just a hero, which I'm fine with. I think it's cool. I think I like when it is coming from a guy who's a Superman fan, but I do like when heroes have flaws.
Yes, I do as well.
And they fuck up, or like they get emotional and they do something they're not supposed to. But I like stuff like that, which is why I think I like stuff like Blade and all that, and like Deadpool,
Yeah, me too.
because it's like Blade, while he wants to do good, he also needs to live and he has to do what he has to do sometimes. But he does it in a way where he doesn't. If he is feeding in the books, he's not killing someone. It's
Yeah, and the movies are like, yeah, we're just gonna bypass that serum. Phoom.
yeah. We're not even gonna touch that.
Yeah, nope, not at all.
They couldn't do what they did. I don't know if you ever saw Vampire Diaries. I'm like, they could have just did this for Blade, where like they would, instead of killing people, they would go to like blood banks and rob blood banks and take the packs, and they would drink the packs like it was juice boxes at home whenever they'd get thirsty. I'm like, that's a cool concept.
Very Vampire the Masquerade.
Yes, literally, yes. I think that's why I like that show, because they did shit like that would be done in games like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a comic we have to cover eventually. They did make a Vampire the Masquerade comic.
I think they made a few.
They made one recently for the new game. We have to cover that eventually.
Oh, we definitely have to cover that.
Definitely. I mean, I'm working on my my vampire book, the second one again. So I'm back to making a vampire book again. So I got to get some inspiration. I've been reading the
Shout
Vampire the
out.
Masquerade clan books.
Shout out to Gabe's second issue. He did a homage cover.
Hell yeah.
Homage cover to
Yeah.
Queen of the Damned.
Hell yeah, my favorite vampire movie. A lot of people, I found out that's a highly contested movie where like some people like it, some people hate it. I'm like, really? I always thought it was cool.
It's not a very good movie, but I like it.
I like it. I thought it was a cool modern take on a vampire. Like, this dude comes back from the dead and he's like, hell yeah, bro, I love rock. This dude comes back from the dead and immediately just joins a band.
It's
I'm like,
it's a very like, what if MTV made a vampire movie?
literally.
Very much like that.
And the soundtrack for it, oh, masterpiece. I love it. I listen to that soundtrack for fun. Love that shit.
It is a great soundtrack.
Oh man, I can hear it whenever, like, when I was drawing that cover, I could like hear the song. I could hear like all the songs in my head. Oh man, great movie. But Ajax, comic of the month here. We're looking at Plasm from June.
Before we look at Plasm,
Oh yeah,
There is one anti-hero we forgot to mention.
Oh.
I am the law.
Oh, hell yeah. Sylvester Stallone.
Yes, the greatest anti-hero of them all is Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, man. Yeah, I bought my dad a big anthology book of Judge Dredd.
I just wish listed a couple of them, but especially one where Garth Ennis was doing a lot of Judge Dredd
Oh.
issues, and I thought, man, that would be fun to read.
My dad was always a big, still to this day, big Punisher guy. Big Punisher
nice.
guy. And when he became a cop, well, he always wanted to be a cop growing up, but because of that, he always read Judge Dredd. He loved Judge Dredd. He loved Judge Dredd, RoboCop, all that shit. So as like a gift, I got him. You know, like those when Marvel puts like those like essentials books where it's like a giant thick anthology. Yeah, it was one of
I
those.
think they're called like Epic Collections or Masterworks. Like either one of
Yes,
them.
yeah, I got him that, but Judge Dredd, really
Oh,
cool.
shit, nice.
Yeah, Judge Dredd's fucking awesome. Honestly,
Yeah, I love
dude,
Judge Dredd.
the recent movie, I liked it. I thought it was a very artistic
With-
movie.
With Carl Urban playing
Yeah.
Judge Dredd?
Dude, Carl Urban's in
that's-
everything.
Because he's a good actor.
He is. I like that. Dude, I left that movie and I was like, yo, that shit was fun, man. Like, they were doing some shit that I've never seen in movies before. They were like, what is the weird shit that people can draw in a comic book that we can just make happen in real life? I think that's why I liked it. It was very, very cool. Damn. Now I want to watch Judge Dredd.
We should cover it for the show.
We should. That's a good movie.
Boat movies. Both of
Yes.
them.
Yes. I haven't watched the OG one in a very long time. It's been about like 5 years since I watched it last. Yeah, definitely. We gotta cover that.
Oh yeah, we have to.
But Ajax, this
All right,
comic
so
of the month,
what do you got here? Plasm.
Plasm. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not read Plasm. The reason why this is being highlighted is for two reasons. One, the only way you could read the book at the time, as I've said, is by collecting trading cards, and by putting them in a binder, you get a full comic book. A full comic book, issue number 0. And what was cool is that they made a specific binder which had the cover of issue 0. So when you got it, you just put it with the Plasm binder. And if you got the Plasm binder, you got another secret comic book in the back, which is pretty cool. One thing I do find interesting about this before I get to the second reason why I'm covering this, it must have been so frustrating collecting these cards. Imagine, so when I got this, I got like the big, you know, like the box they put out on like a table at like a card store that you just pick from?
Right.
I got that box, like the whole box. Someone was selling it unopened, and they were selling the whole box for $8. So I said, sure. So you were guaranteed to get every card. First of all, that's a lie. It doesn't come with all of the reflective cards, which kind of pissed me off because now I got some empty spaces that I need to fill. So fuck that. That made me very upset. But imagine opening up all these packs and they were all like the same page and you can't even read to the next page. You know what I mean? How frustrating must this have been to collect? But that being said, I would love to see this done again. I would not mind seeing this done again, where you collect cards and it makes a comic book. I think that's a really cool concept.
It's gimmicky, but I kind of like the idea of it.
And you double sell, because now you're not only selling a comic book, you're selling all these trading cards, which are all the rage nowadays with these kids. But I really wanted to cover this because Plasm is both the beginning of the Defiant comics universe and the death and the reason why it ended. Because when Plasm was made, who created Plasm? Plasm. God, let me pull it up here. This is by Jim Shooter. This is a Jim Shooter book.
Right.
Who was shooting from the hip in that in that I wonder if he's talking about Plasm in that article. Oh, now I gotta find out after. Cause this came out around a similar time. Oh no, 93. This was what, 95? Okay, never mind. Plasm was already out and dead. Plasm, I believe, was only 11 issues. I have all 11 issues because I thought it was such an anomaly where one series came out and both created and was the reason why your company died. Because Marvel, after Jim Shooter left Marvel, he made Plasm and they said, Ooh. That name's too close to our character, Plasmer. I believe that's their name. Let me look up
Yeah.
Marvel Plasmer. Yes, Plasmer. From 1993. They said, that name's too close. We're taking your ass to court. And because of the legal fees of fighting Marvel, even though Jim Shooter won, he had no money left. All the money that he was putting into this company was seemingly gone because he had to pay for legal fees to protect the IP of Plasm, which he did
What a
change
dick move by Marvel.
Very dick move. And I believe Plasm... And by the way, you want to know something funny about Plasmer? Plasmer was only sold as a part of Marvel's UK division. Back in the day, Marvel had Marvel UK, which were comic books only sold in the UK. And that's where Plasmer was. Not even in the US where Plasm was being sold. So what's funny is number 0 says Plasm. And if I'm correct here, the name was eventually changed to Warriors of Plasm because of the lawsuit. That was the way they tried to get around it. It says right here, Defiant Comics won in court but ended up spending over $300,000 in legal fees to defend itself. The loss of capital would help lead to Defiant's eventual collapse. And let me see what Defiant Comics put out. Is there even a fucking thing for Defiant Comics? Here we go, Defiant Comics. They put out, okay, these were their initial books. You ready? Dark Dominion, The Good Guys, and Warriors of Plasm. They had a second wave of books, which was their final wave of books. Charlemagne, Dogs of War, Prudence and Caution, and War Dancer. Yes, that was it. And then they had a bunch of one-shots, which are how many one-shots? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 one-shots, and one of them is this one here, Splatterball, which you could only get if you made Plasm number 0. That's the only way you could get the one-shot.
Oh my god.
Yes, Defiant lasted from 1993 to 1995.
I thought when you said Charlemagne, I was like, the guy from the Breakfast Club?
No. Could you imagine? Charlemagne had 6 issues. And that's it, man. Yeah, Wars of Plasm lasted. Let's see if I'm correct about the 11 issues. Doesn't even say, so it doesn't even matter. They made only a certain amount of issues there. Sorry, 13. They didn't get.
We got a cameo here.
They didn't make it to issue 13. So, and issue 5 of Dogs of War never made it to print. So, rest in peace to Defiant Comics, who didn't make it through. But yeah, that's the one I wanted to highlight on this issue here, on this one shot, was the book that seemingly started a company and killed it all at once.
What a great legacy to have.
I wish something like this could happen nowadays. That would be, I mean, I wish not, but it would be hilarious to see again.
It would. It really would.
Oh, man. But Ajax, I think it's time to wrap up the one shot. We don't want to go too long. These are just preview episodes. So if you guys want to hear more, make sure to subscribe to the Patreon. $2 gets you to the Dive Into the Longbox issue that you guys can listen to and enjoy, taken at your own time. This past issue was awesome. Was a really fun time, and if issue 3 is not where you want to jump in, well, listen, issue 4 is where you're going to want to jump in, because Ajax and I, with maybe Sinead, are going to be looking over Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the movie. We're going to be reviewing it for your pleasure. So look out for that. And Ajax, the next time we do a one-shot, next time we do a comic to highlight, it's up to you, buddy.
Oh,
And it doesn't have to be a specific comic. It could be a graphic novel. For example, my brother, last month, the last one-shot, he highlighted Court of Owls, the entire series of Court of Owls, the graphic novel that came out.
That's a good pick.
It was
Andrew a shout out for that. That's a good pick.
It was a very good pick. Our episode that me and him did, like how you and I gush over, Image and their phenomenal artist. Me and him were gushing about Greg Capullo and John Romita Jr. for 2 hours. So listen to issue 2 if you guys like those artists, because we talked about our favorite artist.
Greg Capullo does have that connection with Image. He did Spawn.
Yes.
For a long time.
Very true. Very true. We talked about a bunch of artists, man. Like even just a little preview, like. We gushed over Michael Turner for a very long time, rightfully so. So if you guys want to hear us talk about Michael Turner for a very long time and other artists like Jim Lee and whatnot. We briefly discussed the Witchblade TV show.
I also want to give a correction for the first episode that we did. I mentioned that Rawhide Kid was the first openly gay character. He's not.
He's not.
I don't know why I thought he was. The first openly gay character is North Star from Alpha Flight.
Oh, he what? Oh my God, I forgot North Star was gay. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, I thought did they not come out around the similar time?
No, so I think what I had confused is Rawhide Kid, I think, was the first openly gay character to have his own solo series.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what I got confused with.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's understandable. Damn. Well, look at that little. We had to make a correction.
Yeah.
But yes, everyone, thank you for listening to Dive Into the Long Box's one shot here. We'll see you guys next month for one shot number 3. What will we talk about on the next one shot? You'll have to listen to issue 4 to find out. You have to pay for that $2 to find out. So, you guys have a good night. I'm gonna be looking at Witchblade covers for no reason specifically. Let a man be a man, okay?
You fucking pervert.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye.